Obviously, it wasn't anywhere close to what we wanted. Not acceptable in any terms to take a loss the way we did. So we've got to get back. We've got to get back and take a look at the film and evaluate where we're at. So we'll kind of go from there.
What went in the decision to bench DJ at halftime?
Well, that was my decision. I think we had a rough first half, and I thought it might be good for him just to have a chance to gather and take a look at it from a coach's point and a coach's view from the sideline. But yeah, well, we need to play better all the way around, not just him. Everybody needs to play a little bit better, and I'll take the blame on everything for everything. I think if you take a look at what we do and where we need to be, it's unacceptable, and I'm going to put me up in front and say, that's on me. I'll take the blame for this loss 100%. So we got to be better, and we've got to be better. I've got to be better. Make sure these players can continue forward.
Is DJ the starter for Ole Miss, or is that open?
We'll take a look at the film, and obviously we think he's a very talented young man, but we'll take a look at everything and kind of move forward once we get back home.
Thoughts on how it kind of unraveled? Because, the first quarter, it's kind of a 7-3 game, and then obviously the turnovers were just kind of crucial.
Yeah, you have four turnovers in the first half. You're not going to win the game. You've lost time, especially when you're playing a team that takes up so much time of possession early on. We started off offensively. I thought we did a decent job coming out. We came back, but we started off moving the ball. Then we had an interception. Obviously, fourth drive, we had a fumble. Came back, sixth drive, another interception. The seventh drive, another interception. So, if you don't take care of the ball, you're not going to win the game. So we did a poor job taking care of the ball. They did a really good job rushing the ball, and obviously we didn't get off the field on third downs. They didn't punt at all. So, like I said, I'll take the blame for everything.
How do you think Trammell handled it? It's only his second game, but coming on the road.
Yeah, I think he came in and he did what he was supposed to do, having a chance to try to move the ball, and then we had penalties. You start moving the ball and you get a penalty and you get behind and you get in third and long again, and you're not going to be successful that way. So again, we've got to be better, and I keep saying it over and over. I want these players to continue to play hard. We got to put them in better situations, but I'll take the blame on this one. It's not acceptable by any means, and that'll come straight on me.
This defense has been so good in keeping teams in game. I mean, how surprising was that? And some of the coverage breakdowns early. I know some short fields didn't help them.
Well, we knew we had a tackle. We knew we had a wrap up. Take nothing away. I give a ton of credit to Kentucky, but it's when you get put into a situation early on when you got the turnovers, and I'm just trying to look at some of the drives right now I've written down. They were put in a bad situation early on in the game, and going into halftime didn't help. We were 24-7. And then they came back out and they did a good job moving the ball, came down and scored. So we need to get better. We need to get off the field in third downs. But again, like I said, we've got to put them in a better situation where they're not in those situations. So again, that's on me.
Yes, there was a report that Tank opted out. Is that true? And
Tank came up to very professional. Came up and asked if he could preserve his red shirt, and absolutely. I said I 100% honor it, and so at this point, yes.
In terms of just moving forward, I mean, obviously you got Ole Miss and so forth, and I know the Georgia game was obviously a really tough loss too. Just motivation-wise, how do you get the guys to kind of regroup from here?
We just talked to them really quick, and they're in the locker room just now. I just told them we got to get ready. Don't splinter, and we've talked about persistence without exception, and I think we've talked to the team about that. I just mentioned it again. When times get tough, people quit. And why do they quit? It's because they start second-guessing themselves. Is this really what I want to do? Is this the right thing to do? Is this where we need to be? And so they veer off course, and we talked about the without exception part. So the without exception part means, listen, I've got to focus. If I'm a competitor and I'm fighting to be better, and I know at the end of the day what I'm doing can help me out later on down the road and continue to fight for my teammates, continue to fight for the school, the without exception part comes to play. So just talk to them. We're not going to splinter. They can't splinter. But anything from that standpoint, like I said, as far as motivating and leadership comes from me. I got to do a better job in that part.